What is up, guys? What is up? How are we doing? How are we doing? Trying to get my phone here into the tripod. I'm breaking it. Let's see. Make it happen. Make it happen. Did I get it? Oh, I got it. Oh, and it's lost just that quickly. Let's see. Think I got it. All right, let's hope it stays there. What is up, guys? How are we doing? It's Friday. I know many of you guys are out living the life, right? Enjoying your lives. I'm here with you guys on Friday broadcasting, so shows you how much I'm up to and how busy I am. Give me 1 second. Let me situate myself here so I can chat with you guys. All right, sorry about that. Okay. I have to be gentle touching this screen because I have a feeling this phone's gonna come popping out here. What up, Noah? Carlton's here. Boss Lady. Jonas is here. Zaid, Floyd, Carlton. What up, Michael? All right. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Okay. So tonight is a very special broadcast. I saw A Star Is Born last night. Who has heard of this movie? Who is excited for this movie? Evans, preparing for your interviews, using my interview course. Evans. To get ready for interviews so you can dominate. But I saw Star Is Born last night. It's got a lot of hype going on right now because Lady Gaga's in it. Bradley Cooper's in it. Bradley Cooper, executive producer. No, I know you're in it, Evans. That's what I'm saying. Using my interview course to prepare for it. That's what I'm talking about. I'll see you on Tuesday as we start Tuesday, the interview workshop. But anyway, so movie Star Is Born. If you've never seen it, I'm going to let you know right now. I'm going to try to keep my spoilers to a minimum, but it is a remake, so I feel like I have a little bit of leeway to do a little bit more spoilage. But the movie was phenomenal, fantastical, amazing. My wife and I saw it last night as a first showing, so it was great. And even though it was great, it wasn't quite as good as the original. And what I thought tonight, the movie was very dense in terms of it's about life, it's about love, and I thought that you guys could learn some lessons from it. So now I bring you guys A Star Is Born, the pre-med version, right? And we're gonna talk about pre-med lessons from A Star Is Born. Are you guys ready for this? Are you guys excited for this? How's everybody doing? Everybody doing wonderful? You heard me on Friday. It means you're not studying, so you're doing the right thing. It means you studied harder in the week. You don't have to study tonight, right? Yes, Kasim, what up? All right, so A Star Is Born, a love story for all the ages. I'm gonna quickly go through the plot if you've never seen it, but it's a love story, and it's a powerful love story in itself, but it's particularly kind of cool for my wife and I because one of our early dates, I would say we were probably dating for like a month, and we ended up actually, we were talking over a meal, and I was explaining to her that I had never seen a movie from like, she was trying to bring up all these movies that she loved, like her favorite movies, and they were all like old school 60s, 70s, black and white movies. I'm like, I don't watch that old school stuff. Like, I watch new school stuff, like 90s movies, whatever. And she couldn't name 90s movies, and so we had this disconnect. And so we made an agreement that we would order, and this is at the time, so we made an agreement that we would each show each other, we would alternate an old movie and a new movie, an old movie and a new movie, and go back and forth. And so one of the first movies she picked was A Star Is Born, the original version. It's like 1970 something with Barbra Streisand and Chris Christopherson. And the movie is amazing, incredible, all this kind of stuff. I'd never seen it. And so my movie that I showed her was actually Heavyweights. And I don't know if everyone's ever seen Heavyweights. I love that movie with Ben Stiller. Phenomenal movie with Fat Camp. And it was Goldberg before the meth hit him. So I showed her Heavyweights. Then after Heavyweights, we followed that up with the serious, it was a very contrasting night, with A Star Is Born with Barbra Streisand. And she showed me A Star Is Born, and this is at a time in my life where I live with my mom, and so we're watching Star Is Born on the couch in the living room. My mom comes home, and she's all excited. She like walks in the door and she's trying to talk, and then all of a sudden she hears Barbara in the background. She's like, wait a minute, are you guys watching A Star Is Born? And I'm like, yeah, Shannon's in here with these old movies. The movie had just started. That we know, actually, no, we were like halfway through the movie at that point. And so my mom's like, oh, we have to restart it. We have to restart it. And so we restart the movie, and my mom And Shannon, my now wife, new girlfriend at this time, proceed to sing every song of the movie. And not like, oh, like we're lip syncing. I mean, they are belting the music out into their makeshift microphones, which are water bottles at that time. So 2 hours of this, and then it gets to the final scene, and the final scene in the original Star is Born is a very powerful, like 10-minute song where Barbra Streisand goes through all these different emotions. And so the two of them are sitting there going through all these different emotions, singing the song. Ridiculous. And I'm just sitting there in awe of how fun this is and how cool this is. And as they're singing this final song, they do it a couple times. I'm like, guys, enough of this song. It's great. It's fantastical. But I've now heard it for the last 30 minutes. And because I was making fun of it, she's like, all right then. And my mom says, we're going karaokeing. I'm like, karaokeing? What? It's like 11 o'clock at night, midnight almost. How are you going to go karaokeing? She's like, I know the spot. And my mom's kind of cool. She's kind of hip, kind of fun. And so Shannon, my mom, and I go to a karaoke spot at midnight. And I think it was during the week. Like, my mom had work in the morning. We go to this karaoke bar. And at this karaoke bar, my mom and wife get up there and they sing a Barbra song. And then after that Barbra song, they end up singing Proud Mary by Tina Turner with wigs. And it was fire. It was incredible. So they did that and they were doing and they were doing this whole thing. It was great. And then I followed that with my go-to karaoke, which is Benny and the Jets by Sir Elton John. Benny and the Jets. Yeah, like, it's awful. I can clear out a karaoke bar very quickly. So anyway, we did that. It was fantastical. The next day, my mom says, you know what? And my mom was very critical of all the ladies I would bring home. And she said, you know what? I like her. She's a keeper. Keep her around. And so ever since then, we've been together. And we're now married. And we've kept this kind of, that movie is a special place in our life. It's a very strong love story. And so we actually watch that movie every year around our anniversary time. And what's funny about this is our anniversary came up a couple months ago. And we actually were out in LA. I had given a talk at UCLA that day. And that night we had dinner and we were supposed to go out with a couple of my buddies from that go to UCLA for residency. We're gonna go hang out and dance. And it was like 7:30 and we're like, should we go out tonight? I'm like, no. And let's just go back home and watch Star is Born. So we went back to the hotel and watched A Star is Born instead of going out and living it up in Hollywood and going to a club. We watched A Star is Born. So yes, we are very buck wild. We just, all night we be partying. It's crazy. A Star is Born. So that's what happened. And so it's a very special movie for us. So my wife bought tickets like a month ago for us to go see this movie. And long story short, the movie was incredible. Now, I've caught you guys up on the history and why this movie is so important to us. What is the movie about? So real quickly, I thought I'd synopsisize this movie. And I had to write it down because I wanted to make sure that I didn't. I'm doing well, Gould. Thanks for asking. So I wanted to make sure that I didn't give away too much. So the long and the short of the story is this. Successful male musician, also an alcoholic, meets talented young lady singer who has an atypical appearance, right? Not the traditional, what we consider gorgeous looks. And because of that, is insecure. They fall in love. He tells her that she can be a star and gets her to believe in herself. She becomes a star. And then his alcoholic problems hurt her, hurt him, and hurt both their careers. And they fight for their love and for their music for the movie. Was that a good synopsis? Okay, so now we've set the stage. We're all up to speed. Why the movie means much to us, why the movie is cool, and what it's about. And now we're getting to the lessons. If you guys are ready for the lessons, if you're following me so far, if you're enjoying giving up your Friday night to hang out with me and hear about A Star is Born, like the video right now. Running. Shannon, thank you. That was a great synopsis, right? Thank you. So Shannon's upstairs right now, bathing the children, and so I get to hang out here. But she said it was a great synopsis, so I think I did it right. I think I did it right. Sing your song? No, I'm not gonna sing your song on here, Shannon. This is live to the public. I can't be singing. I don't know no songs. We don't have special songs. So anyway, all right. So A Star is Born. Maybe at the end I'll sing. I'll sing at the end. I'll sing at the end. All right. So for the lessons, the first thing is that I have to give a shout out to Bradley Cooper, who not only is a sexy man, I can say that, right? As a very secure man, I can say that Bradley Cooper is sexy. He's a sexy guy. Something like he's clean cut, but he's like a little bit rugged to him, right? Like a little bit of rugged, but he's clean cut. But he's a good looking guy, right? And I've always liked everything he's been in. But what I thought would be interesting to talk about, and is a good lesson for you guys, is I'm constantly telling you guys that you have to get out of your mind this thought of instant success. This thought of plug and play stardom. I'm going to be an amazing pre-med with no work. I'm going to get into the greatest med school with no work. It's going to happen. I got the talent. I'm just going to do it. And even someone who's as talented as Bradley Cooper, there's a couple lessons from that. One is that I actually saw an interview with him, and he was talking about this lead to this movie. He's a talented guy, yes, but he got that talent through hard work and dedication. And he talked about all the years he spent in acting classes and struggling and trying to get roles, and then to finally start getting roles, then to be seen and get more roles, and still having to work and grind and audition and get roles. But particularly for this film, he plays a singer. And so he actually took singing lessons for over a year before they started shooting this movie. And that level of dedication showed in the film. He sounded incredible. The music's phenomenal. My wife was actually listening to the CD in the car, or the Spotify in the car, and hearing the, and I was funny because I went to turn on my Spotify, and I'm trying to hear Logic's new album, which is Jam. And if you guys haven't heard Logic's new album, fire! But I can't listen to it because she's on our Spotify account listening to A Star Is Born. And so we had a competition for Spotify. But the point is he put in that work. And not only is he acting in this movie, but he's executive producer. He's the director, and he's phenomenal in the movie. He carries the movie. Lady Gaga's acting is like, it's okay, it's not awful, but it's not great. But he really carries the movie, and so it's just a testament to, I know we see talent, and we think it's instant, and we think it's effortless. Oh, Bradley Cooper, he's effortless. He just shows up on the screen, he's a superstar. But he took singing lessons for a year. He took acting classes for all this time. He's been struggling in acting for a long time, until he got a role and a role and a role and audition. Like, it's a process and a build. And when you guys look at your career and the skills you're trying to attain, you have to look at it that same way. You have to look at it like, I'm not going to be amazing instantly. It's going to take some work. And as long as I understand that, right, I can come to grips with that, then I'll be willing to do that work. And by doing that work, I will eventually get where I need to go. But if we feel like everything should happen instantly, this is what happens to a lot of you guys, right? We feel like things happen instantly. So if it doesn't happen instantly for you, what do you feel? Right? So you sit down and do problems, and you get confused, and then instantly, what do? Right? What do you do? When you don't recognize that all those missed problems are growth opportunities for you to learn the material. Congratulations, Samson, getting into PA school. Oh, post-bac program. Congratulations. Right? Killer Meister said it. We shy away. Right? When we don't understand that those problems are part of the growth, we shy away. We want instant success. We want to sit down and immediately understand everything. When we go to the MCAT, oh man, I should memorize everything. I should understand everything. Everything should be easy. Oh, I forgot, Utha, that you're Killer Meister. My bad, Utha. But do you know what I'm saying? We have to change that perspective. And that's what happens to a lot of you guys, your MCAT studying, is you get so frustrated, so burnt out, because you can't handle that opposition. You can't handle that struggle that's really going to get you those gains. And so kudos to Bradley Cooper. Oh, my mom is on here. Yay. Hi, Mom. Star is Born is amazing, Mom. You gotta go see it. Gotta go see it. But so, anyway, yeah, so just don't be afraid of work, because everybody you see who's successful, I know we think that they just get there, and that's part of the reason why I try to be so me, right? I don't try to be fancy, A, because I'm not fancy, but also because you guys can understand that I'm just you. I've just spent a lot more years working at it. And that work and that effort has made me grow into a extremely talented extremely knowledgeable physician and studying expert and medical school admissions expert, but it's taken lots of time to get there. Does that make sense to everybody? If that makes sense to you, like the video right now. So Chandler said, this is so true. I hate that I give up when things get too difficult, right? And that's what we do. And one of my favorite quotes, I have a lot of favorite quotes. I love quotes in general because I think when quotes become timeless, it's because they say a lot in a little bit of words. And one of the quotes I really like is, on the other side of struggle lies, just past struggle lies success, or something like that. Just on the other side of success or struggle lies success. And so if we can't push through those struggles, we won't find our success. Exactly, struggle shields success. All right, so that's lesson number one, is that we have to work for things. There's no such thing as overnight success. The second thing is that insecurity is the absolute worst. It's the worst. When we doubt ourselves, it is the most toxic, it is the most futile thing we can do for ourselves. And for many of you guys who are young people just coming into your own, right? Just coming out from underneath your parents' thumb, you're trying to find yourself. You're trying to find your own sense of yourself and your own sense of self-confidence and self-worth. And so it can be a struggle for you, and you struggle with self-doubt and insecurity. And do I really belong here? Can I really reach my goal? I'm just so nervous. I'm just so anxious. I'm just, right? And we can't find that sense of, you know what? I'm gonna make it happen. I do belong. I am this. And this is kind of a sidetrack, but so in the movie, Lady Gaga, right? And everyone knows what Lady Gaga looks like, right? She's atypical looking. And Barbra Streisand, for people who don't know, is in the original. Barbra Streisand, amazingly successful, Hall of Fame type singer, very non-traditional, short, Jewish, right? Different type of features, curly hair, right? She plays in Funny Girl. She plays in all these movies where she's the ugly duckling girl, and she becomes either a star or the guy loves her, and all these kind of things. That's, you know, her lane. She's been hugely successful. And so the movie, the kind of cool thing about Stars Born is the movie really kind of mirrors her life, is that she does have atypical looks, but she became a star and overcame it. And for many of us, we have these insecurities, and even something simple as how we look, right? How unsexy is insecurity? I've seen lots of heavyset guys get ladies. But the heavyset guy with his shirt on in the pool, ladies aren't flocking to that. But if you're heavyset and you own it, ladies, be on it. And it's the same way for women. You are who you are. You look how you look. But if you embrace how you look and you're comfortable in it, it makes other people comfortable. And why that's so important to understand and know is a lot of different things for your whole journey. But the number one thing that came to my mind when I was seeing this, because for Lady Gaga, it was stopping her in the movie, was stopping her character from progressing in the music industry because she felt uncomfortable going to auditions, standing next to model-looking girls. And for many of you guys, you're the equivalent of an ugly duckling pre-med, where you have some flaws about you and about your resume and about your transcript. And you're so caught up about those things, you're so in your own head about your flaws, that you let those flaws magnify and raise to the surface, and everyone who interacts with you at an interview, on your application, all they see is the flaw. Because you're so insecure, they can't overlook it, right? Your insecurity comes off and they're like, gosh, they're uncomfortable, I'm uncomfortable. And it cheats you out of opportunities you otherwise would have secured and delivered on. But you were so focused on that, you couldn't go get it. A major way you see this is in application, filling out applications. I've said it time and time again. People are going to tell you, hey, if you got, some bad grades, you got some of that, make sure you let them know, address it. Let them know, hey, listen, my GPA sucks. I'm a terrible student. I don't know how I'm going to start in medical school. That's horrible strategy, because now you're letting your insecurity rise up, and you're putting that insecurity right into their heads, right into the first thing they see is, I'm a terrible student. And we can laugh about that. And someone BP said, LOL, but you guys can't imagine, right? I review applications all the time. And you can't imagine how many people do that to themselves and put their foot in their mouth before they even get started. Because oftentimes, right, what's that first paragraph they ask you in the application, right, in secondaries? Is there anything you want us to know about your application? And you write, oh, well, you should know I've got no volunteering. I basically only went to class, and I don't like people. You lead off with that, and then you wonder why medical schools don't want you. I can't figure out. I had a 3.8 GPA, and you told on yourself. You're a tattletale on yourself. You let your insecurity get the best of you. And the other flip of that coin is that even if you are atypical, if you are a Barbra Streisand type, if you are a Lady Gaga type, right, not the prototype pop star, you can have tremendous success if you're willing to grind and better yourself and be better and embrace who you are. When Lady Gaga came out, right, when she came out, she was her own person, right? And she had shades of old singers, right, that are very theatrical, but she was unique in the market at that time. She could have tried to be just like every other pop singer, tried to be like Britney. But she came out, you really know what she looked like, she had the crazy wigs on, she had all this theatrical stuff going on around her, and that separated her from the rest of everybody else. And for you guys as pre-meds, you should embody that too. Don't try to be like every other pre-med and just be a clone of the person next to you when you show up for interviews. Be unique, be you. Find your passion, pursue it, commit to it, be successful, and let that be your badge of honor. Instead of saying, oh, well, everyone else is doing that, but even though I want to do this, I'm going to go do what everybody else is doing. Because in an application of 50,000 applications, right, and that's 50,000 unique people, but it's hundreds of thousands of applications, how are you going to stand out if you're just like everybody else? You can't. So you have to embrace who you are. You have to embrace who you are. And if you can embrace who you are and be secure in it and be confident in it, then other people will also do that. The example for me, if you guys want to hear one from me, are you guys still with me? Like the video right now if you guys are still with me. Make sure I haven't lost you guys in the depths of this movie. This is a helpful video session for you guys. Meryl, what up? Okay, so that's number 2. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Number 3. Toxic people have toxic habits, and they're the worst. Toxic people have toxic habits, and they're the worst. I mentioned that Bradley Cooper's character in the movie is an alcoholic. In the original, Chris Christopherson is an alcoholic. And they find these young girls, and they get married to them. And as anyone who knows an alcoholic knows, alcoholism is like, it's like being a drug addict. Drugs and alcohol are the depths, and they just pull you into them. And every time you try to escape that bottle or that drug, it pulls you back. And you see people who get away from the drugs for a little while, get away from the alcohol for a little while, and then they go right back to it. They get away from it, they go back to it. And it erodes all the family around them. And actually one of the most memorable moments I had in my intern year was a guy who had come to the emergency department and who was in fluid liver failure. And I was like, man, why are you so, you're so jacked up, you're so swollen, you're all backed up, you could have died, why are you just not coming in? I know this had to take a while to accumulate. And what he said was, you know what, I feel like I'm dying, but my daughters were here visiting for the last week. And so I was eating popcorn with them, and we were celebrating eating all these foods, and we were walking a lot, we were doing all these things. And so I got swollen, I got all these things, and I didn't want to come into the hospital because I wanted to wait until they left. And I said, well, why was it so important? Like, what, you mean you're not gonna be able to see them again? And he's like, well, actually, I haven't seen my daughters in over 20 years. I said, what? And he's like, yeah, I used to be a raging alcoholic when they were young. And I was abusive to them, to my ex-wife, to everyone around me. And I was a miserable person. And I soured that relationship with my daughters, and I hadn't seen them in over 20 years. And they finally came back to visit me. We reconnected. And this was the first time I was seeing them and my grandchildren. And so I wanted to spend this time with them. But the point of this is that alcoholism is toxic and crazy and is awful. So anyway, for you guys, you may not be an alcoholic, but maybe you're a procrastinationaholic. Maybe you are a futile workaholic, where you're willing to do anything to avoid doing what you should be doing, right? You're the busybody who's not productive. How many of you guys are serial? You are a toxic person with toxic habits for yourself. Be honest, right? We on here. If you are a habitual toxic person to yourself and you feel miserable about it, right? How awful do you feel when you sabotage yourself, when you're toxic to yourself? You feel awful. Don't do that to yourselves, guys. When people ask me, and this is like, if you guys get nothing else ever from my channel, I'm gonna tell you the most powerful, most important thing you'll ever hear. This is something we're gonna talk about in a different way on my studying boot camp on Sunday, is if you guys wanna know why I crush everything, if you guys wanna know why I can't be stopped, truly, it's because of my habits. If you guys would have known me in college, you would have thought I was the most boring person ever, Monday through Friday. Why? Because I knew it was work time, and my every Monday looked like every Tuesday, looked like every Wednesday, looked like every Thursday, it was identical. Woke up at the same time, wore the same thing, ate the same thing. Kid you not, I would eat oatmeal for breakfast every single day. Not a different type of oatmeal, the same oatmeal, made the same way every single day. For lunch, I had a rotation of 3 items. I went and studied in the same place. Everything the same. Because I wanted to establish the muscle memory, the habit of getting the work done. And what's interesting about this is that when you get into positive, non-toxic, right, the opposite of toxic, when you get into positive, productive habits, even small ones in a small sector of your life, what's amazing is when you repeat the same positive or productive action over and over again, right, it becomes a habit, but as you do that, you start to recognize, oh snap, I did that, not once, I did it twice, 3 times. And that week of getting that positive thing done, from where I was Monday to where I am now, holy smokes. And then you have success and you're like, holy smokes, that success from this habit, and then you continue that habit. And then that starts to feel so good and so addictive that you then grab onto another little habit, and then another little habit. And then pretty soon, positive, productive habits take over your whole life. And now not only are you positive and productive, whether it be in your studying or whether it be in just like your exercising, whatever it is, it infects everything in your life, and you start being a habitual, non-toxic, you start being a productive, a supporter, your #1 cheerleader, your #1 disciplinarian. You start being that person that habitual succeeder, and it is everything to you. And even now, so my mom's on here right now, and Shannon's on here right now. My mom lives out of state, and she's in state this week, right? She came down to see me for one day, right? And I'm at work all day. I got back from work, and as I pulled up to the house, they were leaving the house. So my brother was here, my mom was here, and my mom's down from out of state for one day. She's here. I pull up, they're pulling out of the driveway, and they're going to get dinner. And they're like, oh, do you want to come to dinner? And I said, no, I have to go do work in my office, right? I have to build curriculum. And they kept driving. And so here's my one chance to hang out with my mom, and here I am going in the house to work as they're going to dinner. And it may seem crazy to you, but I have a habit. I come home, I got 10 to 15 minutes with my kids, and after that, I put 2 hours-ish into building stuff for you guys. Every single day. Every single day. That's the habit. And so we have to understand this all started with a single habit of me getting up early in the morning. That was my first habit. Get up early every morning. And from that habit, I built other habits, and other habits, and other habits. And now my life is a habit, habit, habit. It's a habit. I read every day because it's a habit. I'm addicted. I'm addicted. I got 6 books in my backpack right now. I read half of a book today in the OR. It's a habit. I feel weird when I don't read. I feel weird when I don't write and produce content and think about things differently. So I'm at the movie last night. So my wife already knows she doesn't get bothered. People got bothered. I pull my phone out. I'm that annoying guy. And I take notes. So I literally took notes on my note app about the movie because there was learning lessons I want to bring to you guys. It's a habit. And so I want you guys to understand toxic people have toxic habits, and so they have toxic outcomes. If you can change and stop being toxic and get away from toxic people who are pulling you the wrong way, and you start doing the right things, having positive thoughts, having productive thoughts. Why I love my Cult of Greatness group, and I'm going to share with you guys some of the stuff that's inspirational to me. But every day I go to my Facebook group, so I have a private Facebook group you guys can join. I have a private Facebook group called the Cult of Greatness. And every day I go there, I'm inspired because people are being positive with each other, supporting each other. Nobody's judging. Everyone's trying to be helpful, right? And people are trying to do productive things, asking about habits, asking, well, listen, how do I get better at this? And people are being constructive, and people are having success. And I'm inspired by that because now I'm around a group of people, and they're around a group of people that are positive and that are productive, and the end result is success. And I know that the people who are with me, we're going to have success because you can't help. It's infectious. It's a success. It's a success habit. A success habit. And so I encourage you guys to establish and concretize your own success habits so you can be successful. Did that make sense to everybody? Like the video right now if you understand what I'm talking about. If you're sick of being the toxic person and you're going to start being a more positive person for yourself, you're going to start having the right habits and you understand the power of habits and getting stuff done. It's the number one thing. And it sounds simple, right? Consistency. Someone asked about consistency earlier. How can you be consistent? Start with 1 day. Then put 2 days together. Then put 3. And then 4. Before you know it, you're consistent. Before you know it, you got to have it. And that consistency kills everything everybody else got going on. Because out of all your friends, think about it. You guys can ask yourself right now. There are so few people who are habitual. There are so few people who are consistent that if you can just get consistent, this is the power of my How to Double Your Study Efficiency course, is if you can just get consistent, studying done. You don't need no advanced tactics. If you just have a strategy system that allows you to be consistent and study every single day, even if you got terrible study habits, like if the actual studying you do, like when you're studying, is not that great, but you at least do it every single day, whew, it's powerful. It's powerful. It's powerful. So habits. I think I beat that to death, but and that actually wasn't exactly what I was going to talk about, but that's such a powerful thing. I wanted you guys to have that. So habit, guys. Habit. And if you've ever had a failure, you can trace it back to a bad habit. And if you've had success, you can trace it back to a good habit. And I have a habit of reading. I have a habit of learning. I have a habit of writing. And therefore, it's easy for me to bring you guys high-level expert content. It's easy. Because I have a habit of that for years and years and years. All right. The last thing I'll say for the movie is that so often in this society, with Instagram and with all the other junk we have, we try to fit a prototype. And one of the books I was reading today is called Tribes. I don't know if you guys have heard of this book. It's very obscure. I saw it like it was when I was in Barnes and Noble. I was in Barnes and Noble. It was on the front bargain shelf, and it just sounded interesting to me. Tribes, and I forget what the author's name is, but essentially it's this guy who studies ancient tribes, and then has used that literature, that research, to then explore the tribes of today. And what he says is that as human beings, we have a natural inkling towards a tribe. And what a tribe is a group of people that we feel we belong to, that we share social constructs with, that we share ideals with, all these things. And so what he has actually done, it's really interesting, is he's actually gone to different countries and different pockets and assimilated to different tribes to identify these tribes and what makes them tick and all the kind of things so we can have this. But what was interesting about this, one of the things he talked about was that he actually went to the Middle East and posed as I don't know how you would describe this, but with a radical Islamic group, he actually posed with them. And what was really interesting about how he broke it down is how these group of people are a tribe, and that sometimes what happens, and it's not to say something's wrong or something's right, is that when you get ingrained in a tribe, you believe in some of what the tribe believes in, and then when they start saying things that you don't believe in, you don't feel like you can stand up and disagree because you feel the longing to belong in that tribe. Does that make sense? I hope that made sense right now. You get down one path, and then you keep going where you said you wouldn't go because you don't want to lose that tribal connective feeling. And why I thought this was powerful today and how it kind of fits with the movie last night is there's a scene, and so in The Star is Born, right? I said Lady Gaga was insecure and then she becomes a star. As she became a star, she originally was this like no frills singer-songwriter type, and she would write the songs and sing the songs, and they were beautiful. The lyrics were all heartfelt, and it was a cool piece of movie making because they had her when she became this big star. She did her first major performance on SNL. And on SNL, the song she performed is like, "Look at your butt in those jeans, boy. You making me crazy, boy. These not oh, yeah," like, and it was like a complete departure from this grounded, like gritty lyrics she was writing to now she's writing like ice cream pop songs. And Bradley Cooper, right, the alcoholic, immediately they pan to him, and he had stopped drinking. He starts drinking because he's so upset at what she's doing. And he whispers in her ear when she gets off, she's like, "This is your moment. People are listening to what you're saying, and this is your moment to be you and say what you have to say in your voice, as only you can." And he says to her, if you're not connected to your soul, you will lose yourself. This is your time to say what you have to say in your voice. And if you're not connected to your soul, you will lose yourself. And I was like, dang, that's deep. because she has all these people pulling at her, all these Hollywood types, like, oh yeah, you can be amazing, dye your hair, wear this outfit, get backup dancers, shake your butt over here, do all these things. And in all this, they show you that she went from this girl who was super nice, super like looked out for other people and was singing and writing songs, and now she's this pop star who's more concerned with her appearance and how many records are selling, and it's total departure from her personality. And he was trying to tell her, he's like, I failed you. If you're not connected to your soul, you're going to lose yourself. And why I thought that was powerful is because in life, that's a big thing, is that we often, right, we feel this pressure to assimilate, right? This is where the tribe part comes in, is we feel this pressure to belong. And in college, this is a killer for people when they come in as freshmen. They come in as freshmen, you don't know anybody, right? You've gone your whole life in the same neighborhood. You know everybody since third grade. Now you graduate high school, you go off to the college campus, there's 20,000 people on campus, you know none of them. You're in the dorms. You don't know anybody. You feel anxious to belong and to know people. And when they start saying, hey, listen, we're going to stay up late and talk till 2 in the morning, you want to belong. So what do? You assimilate. You start staying up till 2 in the morning. Oh man, we're not going to class today, we're going to the beach. You want to come with us? And then if you say no, right, you're thinking in your mind, oh, if I say no and I go to the beach, they'll never invite me again. There'll never be another beach day. They won't love me. They won't be my friends. I'll be a square. L7, square. I'll be a nerd. That's how we think. And as young people, when you go from high school to college, when people talk about weed out classes, it's not a real thing. There's nothing hard about freshman year college classes. What's hard is getting your stuff together and doing what's required to get those grades. Not feeling pressured to do things you know you shouldn't be doing. My older students, comment on here right now. Let these young people know what it is. And what's interesting, as an old person now, a gray beard, you recognize that all those people you were trying to impress, who you were trying to assimilate to, didn't mean anything. You don't know them now. But you let them get you to flush your medical school dreams down the drain, because their approval meant so much to you in that moment. Think about that. Oh, you're the cool guy at the beach. Good. But now you can't get to medical school. They weren't pre-med. You were pre-med. What happened? I know you guys feel that pressure. I know when your friends say, let's study together, you feel like it would be rude to say, no, I don't want to study with you. That's not helpful to me. What has made me successful beyond habit, right? As part of my habit is that I keep a small circle and I'm always the center of my universe. I don't need anybody's approval. You guys see out here all the time. People don't like me. That's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But I'm never going to be anything I'm not. And I'm never going to let someone pressure me into doing something that's not right. I could get on here and be all gimmicky and whatever. No, I'm me. Either you come and you want truth and you want knowledge, or you don't. That's it. If you want to talk about makeup or whatever, go somewhere else. Here, you will get knowledge. That's it. When I was an undergrad, very small circle. People didn't see me very often. But it's okay. Why? Because I got into Stanford. It's okay. Why? Because I'm the doctor I want to be. It's okay. Why? Because I get to go and travel all around the world helping students like you guys. My life My life is a beach day. Think about that. You get one day at the beach and you give up the 40 years after college of your life. I gave up that trash. And now my life is a beach day. Like I said, I just came back from Mexico, 8 days. All expenses paid. I didn't pay a dime. They brought me out there to speak. It is what it is. My life is a beach day. I swam every morning with my kid. It was beautiful. Having all sorts of pina coladas. It was wonderful. Because I made the decision to say, you guys won't pressure me. Nothing will pressure me and get me to do what I know is not the right thing for me. I won't be pushed into something that I know is not productive and fruitful for me. And it comes all back around. And even friends, I lost tons of friends who thought I was, oh, he don't want to hang out with us. Fine. But what's interesting is the people who really got you, the people who really care about you, they'll hang around, they'll wait. And I go years without talking about, like, for example, my boy Poncho, right? Really good friend of mine, super tight coming up. We used to carpool every day from junior high, like that kind of situation. We didn't talk for a good 8 years. I kid you freaking not. Like 8 solid years we didn't talk. 8. And then I went to go get married. He was one of the first phone calls I made. Hey, you gotta be a groomsman. It's like, cool, be there. It was one of my groomsmen. Then we didn't talk for another good, long little while. Then, now I got a little bit more time. We're back in it. We hang out all the time now, right? When I got time. But the whole point is he doesn't hold that against me. He recognized what I got to do. He supports me in my grind and my success. And so I encourage you guys, when we talk about the peer pressure to become something you're not and that you're uncomfortable with, be comfortable. Be in touch with your soul so you don't lose yourself. And find the right tribe of people who can get around you and support you. It makes all the difference. I swear. It makes such a difference. A, if you can be your own tribe, if you can feel confident in yourself to be alone. But even better is if you can find other supportive people to put around you who can build you up. And even something as simple as, you know what, hey, I hope you have a great day. You're an awesome person. Have a great day. How good does that make you feel? When someone tells you, like, you guys know what I'm talking about when you have the interaction, you go buy coffee or something, and someone doesn't give you the ho-hum, like, how you doing? All right, have a good day. When someone's like, you know what? I love your smile. Have a great day. Do you not just like, ooh, yeah, is this going to be a good day? Ha ha! Right? Who has that feeling? You know what I'm talking about, right? When someone gives you that real whatever. That's why, like, people trip off. People are always like, can I hug you at events? I'm like, heck yeah, you can hug me. Come give me a hug. I'm a hugger. Why? Because it means something when you will hug someone. When you spread that love, when you embrace somebody, that's powerful. Nothing better than getting a hug. Like, oh yeah, hug. Find the right tribe of people to put around you. All I'm trying to say. I have a free Cult of Greatness Facebook group. You can join that. Or find your tribe elsewhere. But find a tribe, find some people to put around you, and love each other, and be good to each other. And I'll even shout out Meryl on here right now. So Meryl is one of my OG students. And we actually, it was cool. We got to meet in person when I went out to Rutgers, so in New Jersey, because Meryl's an East Coaster. But it's so beautiful. This is like the kind of people that are around me that are in my groups or my students, is that Meryl is always thinking of other people. She does like 50,000 volunteer things. But she met a girl who is struggling in her classes, really needs help. And Meryl's like, you need to get in Dr. Pinesett's classes. And the girl that she was talking to is a student who is borderline welfare, who lives in a very small space with a lot of people and doesn't have extra money. And so Meryl said, hey, listen, I'd like to sponsor this girl, and I'd like to get a course for her because she needs it. And I was like, this is a beautiful message to get. And I sent back to Meryl and I said, don't worry about it. I'll give her the course for free. And I gave her my study boot camp, which is right a $900 value. I gave her that study boot camp totally free. So Meryl got this girl hooked up because she simply asked. Because I like that. That's what it's about. Those are the people that you want to surround yourself with. Like, that's why, like, I talk to Meryl all the time. She emails me all the time. And I try my hardest to always get back to her because she's an awesome person. Because that's the type of person she is. That's the energy she puts out. So I can always talk to Meryl. I can always email Meryl because I know she's bringing positive, productive energy. She's thinking about other people. And so if you can put people around you like that, it's so energizing. I encourage you guys, do that. Find the right tribe of people who support you, who want you to be your best, and who don't try to take you off the path of where you need to go. That's all I'm trying to say. Does that make sense? That's all I got. Those are my lessons from A Star is Born. There was a ton more, but we're on here for 50 minutes. I told Shannon, so Shannon's probably upstairs pacing, that I would only do a 20-minute stream. And of course, my long-winded ass, I did 50 minutes. But anyway, I hope this is helpful to you guys. If this has been helpful to you, please take a second and like the video. Just take a second, like the video. Also take a second. If you're new to this, subscribe and notify. It's all good information coming at you. Take a second, join my free Cult of Greatness Facebook group. It's free. Okay? This is another interesting thing. I'll talk about that later. Okay, so anyway, everyone, this is Friday night. Everyone have a great night. Our new regularly scheduled times for new videos coming out, either live or recorded, Monday and Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Be ready. Am I going to Cutwater Spirits tonight? Britt, that's our hangout. I can't go there without you now, Britt. I can only go there with you. No, we are going to sleep tonight. If you can hear, I'm stuffed up. I've been sick for like 2 weeks. I cannot get it together. I've been sick since I got back from Mexico. I can't get it together. Yes, Britt says he'll buy me foo-foo drinks because Britt knows I drink umbrella type drinks. I'm not a real. This is another. Okay, so let me take a step back. Okay, I said I was going to end this, but let me go back into it. So we talk about understanding what you have to do when having the right habits. So I drink alcohol. I'm an adult, right? Jackie, email me right now. I'll give you a promo code. Email me. I drink alcohol now. I didn't have my first drink until I was 24 years old. Think about that. I didn't have my first sip of alcohol until I was 24 years old. And it sounds crazy, but I think there's multiple lessons that could go back to what we were just talking about from this. A couple things. The first is that I recognize that alcohol makes you groggy the next day, which makes it hard for you to get up, study, or work, or do anything. Therefore, I didn't want to feel groggy. I didn't want to sacrifice and not be able to do my habit. Therefore, I didn't drink. Because I knew I had to have my habit in the morning to get it done. And so I didn't want to drink and be groggy the next day. Additionally, we talk about being insecure. People drink oftentimes, right? When people drink to, at a party, it's because they get that drink in them and they, right? It's a libation, right? They're liberated, right? They get that drink in them and they feel freer. They feel less insecure. They feel less shy, right? They feel more fun. I'm a fun guy when I'm drunk, right? That's what people do. I am a naturally pretty shy person. Instead of using alcohol to make me less shy, I was just secure in my shyness and my quietness. And I said, I'm going to grow, right, not overnight. I'm going to work on it. And I did active things to improve my sense of kind of like social anxiety, my sense of anxiousness in social situations. Long story short, I was me. And this is, this is kind of way off topic, but one of my best friends, David Michael Stein, D. Stein, his name starts with David, and everyone used to call me Dre, so we were D&D, so we were the double D squad. And so we would go places, like we were always together. And we would go together, we would take, and it was like a big joke, it happened at one party, we're at a party, and I'm like, yeah, do you have anything that's non-alcoholic? And someone tossed me a Capri Sun. And so then it became a big joke that like when we showed up to parties, people were like, oh, it's Capri Sun boys. And like it was like this big thing. But it didn't faze me. Because when I was looking at people getting sloppy and trash and whatever, all I could see was you guys are going to be hungover the next morning, and I'm going to be delivering on my habits, and I'm going to have success. And what's interesting, so now we're going even further into this, right? And I said I was going to get off here, but now we're 5 minutes deep into this. It's very interesting, is that I sacrificed that time of drinking, that time of partying every night. And I partied all the weekends. Let's be serious, right? I had a great time in college, but it was on the weekends. But the point is I sacrificed what I had to sacrifice to get the success and to be there. And what's interesting is now, like I said, my life is really, really good right now. And when I look at, and I have my 15, I won't even, whoa, I have my 15-year high school reunion coming up in a couple months. And what's interesting is a lot of people who I went to high school with who were having a great time in college are having a hard time now and more towards the middle of their life because they didn't put in the work then. They had the fun. They did all that, and then now their life is not what it should be. And it's not my life. And that's not to say that my life is whatever, but I'm very happy with my life. And I have happy times now, and I sacrifice some of the happy times then. And what you realize, and this is something interesting, my older students can comment on this. I know when you're 18 or when you're even 16, you think parties are fun. When you're my age, parties are really fun. When you're an adult, like when you're a kid, you're like, oh yeah, we're going to Bobby's house. Yeah, it's a party. Woo, best backyard party ever. Right? That's fun. Yeah. When you're an adult and you're taking care of business, you party for real. Like you're out at clubs, you're out at extravaganzas, you're at you're at real festivals, you're at real fun stuff. Like we went the other day, this the San Diego Zoo has a wine and taste or whatever night, something like that, food and taste. And they have wine and food all night. Bands at all the different monkey cages. It was awesome. Yes, it was Triple B, Big Baller Brand, recognized. It was amazing. That's fun. So just recognize, I know you feel like, oh man, if I miss this college party, I miss this high school party, my life will be over. I'll never experience anything fun like this. No, when you're an adult, when you are adult, things are way more fun. Exactly. Kids can't afford extravaganzas. So anyway, all that to say, to bring all that back together, is that I'm content and I'm happy in who I am and who I've become because it is me. I don't have to put on an affront for anyone. And everything I teach you guys, the reason I can be so confident that it works is because I lived it. I did it. I'm not one of those people who teaches stuff that I didn't do, that I don't apply, that I don't believe in. I do what I do, I do what I do, right? I practice what I preach. My money's where my mouth is. And so I feel confident telling you guys, follow these steps. Success is here. Anyway, all right. Everyone have a good night. On that note, I'm out of here. The website, guys, check out the website. It's premedproductivity.com. We have a lot of exciting stuff coming up. I've got a 6-week study less, Get Better Grades Bootcamp that is starting Sunday. You've got 48 hours, it's a little less than that, to sign up for that. Otherwise, you can't sign up after that. I've got an interview, medical school interview bootcamp. We're doing mock interviews, 5-part dialogues, all this amazing stuff. Tuesday nights. That's in 4 days. That closes, and you can't get in that anymore. I'll put the links in the boxes below. But get on this stuff, guys. Take advantage of it, and stay on this YouTube channel. Get this good advice. Everyone have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, wonderful, wonderful night, and don't mistake what I said. You should have a wonderful weekend. If you're all caught up, if you're ahead on your work, if you're like Utham, and you're ahead of your work, have a great weekend. Get out, shake it a little bit. You know, some of the shoulders. Get some of that logic up in you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so look at that shoulder right there. Yeah. Kill him with the shoulder. My man Lil Duval, #1 in the country. If y'all don't know who Lil Duval is, with his song Smile Bee, get it together. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, all right. Everyone have a good night. I'm out of here. Thank you, guys.